Welcome to the Financial Planners Southeast Asia podcast, a show dedicated to driving the positive evolution of financial advice, specifically within Southeast Asia. To join a global community of financial advisors sharing and learning with one another to drive the positive evolution of financial advice, head to xyadvisor.com. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Financial Advisor Southeast Asian podcast. Gwen here, and today we have a advisor from Malaysia. She's not only like a financial advisor, she is also a young professional money and life coach and co-founder and executive director of CorePlus Advisory, Hooi Hooi Lim. Hi, and thank you so much for coming into the show, Hooi Hooi.
Hi, Gwen. Thank you for inviting. Yeah, it's my pleasure to be here with you.
Yes, it's an absolute pleasure to me for having you here as well. Now, I'm very interested in getting to know you better and getting our advisors who are listening right now to get to know you better, because you've been in the industry for almost 2 decades now. Am I right?
Yes, yeah, it's my 19 years this year.
Yeah. So 19 years of experience in the financial advice industry is such a. I'm sure that we can get a lot of great advice from you. So I just want to start. Because I was reading up on you and I saw this in your bio that you're a new retirementality coach. I was very interested in that. Like, can you expound on that for me?
Okay, that is actually what I learned from so-called Texas University in US. So our mentor is he actually wrote many books about new retirementality, and in new retirementality we are talking about our life is not only 2 phases. Before retired, working all the way to gain money, and after retired, just stop and do not do anything.
Yeah.
So in new retirementality, we believe that there's our life transition. We have many important life transitions. So retirement is just part of the life transitions. Yeah. So when we need to prepare for this retirement, so-called maybe 5 or even earlier. And when we are preparing, but normal people, we will say, okay, we retired from something. So in new retirement, we believe that we not only retired from something, we are going to retire to something. Yeah. So another phase of retirement can be another 30 to 40 years. Yeah. So we want our so-called our clients to be very excited to go into another phase of life. Yeah. So to chasing the dream that they want to chase, because before this so-called third age, when they born, they go to primary school. All the schooling is all these phases of life is maybe pushed by a system that they have to go to school. They have to complete their educations. Yeah. After that, then after university, they need to go to working. Okay, go to work. Then after that, get married. Then it's a system to push them moving forward. And after that, they need to like fulfill the responsibility for their family, for their children. And now is the best time in life when they are almost go to retire, because now the children is grown up. Yeah. They have released all the so-called life responsibility. Now is a time they live for themselves. So it's a very beautiful phase for them to plan for themselves and live for themselves and to get the best life they want to have with the money they have.
Wow, that's really cool, because it seems like you're actually proposing to your clients to really look forward to retirement. So it's not something to be fearful about. It's something that you can be excited about because you've already planned for it.
Yes, yeah. And we believe that there's many so-called portfolio in happiness. So when they're going to retirement, we want them to have a balanced so-called happiness in their life. involved. Work is part of it. Then their hobby, their spiritual, their friendship, relationship with their partner, and maybe leisure, contribution to the society, self-educations. All this, when we go through our coaching sessions with them, then we try to strike a balance. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Because I think that it's important with your to make sure that your clients are happy or people to be happy in general. There needs to be a balance, right? Like you don't really
Yes.
just work all the time. You have to have time for play, and it's not like you're accumulating all this money, but you're not really spending them to make sure that you're rewarding yourself appropriately. So yes, I think that's really important. And so I wanted to ask, because you are a retirement this is such a mouthful, new retirement-mentality coach, like how do you position that to a prospective client? Because I know that some people actually dread the idea of retirement. Like it to them, it's such a long way from their life, especially those who are in their 20s or mid or in their early 30s. So how do you position it so that it becomes such an exciting thing to look forward to?
Okay, because in Malaysia, actually, this concept is relatively new. Okay,
Yeah.
so my service actually for this retirement coaching, our client mostly is 40 and above. And for 20 hours, then I actually have another program is called Young Professional Money and Life Coaching. Because at this stage of life, they need to actually learn good financial behavior and also build up the right habits for them to work on, so that they also will have the money to fulfill the life, the best life they want. So we always talk to our clients that money is not what they are chasing for, but the quality of life, and money is a tool for them to fulfill their dream, the best life they want. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So you actually have different like programs for different age group or wherever your clients are at their life stage. So,
Yeah.
all right, I get it, because it's really good that you position it that way. At the when your client is new, like in their 20s or in their early 30s, especially with if they don't have that, the right financial management mindset yet. So you have a program to set them to the right course, and once they're ready, they move on to the next program, which is looking forward to their retirement.
Yeah.
Did I understand
So
right? Yeah. Okay.
yes, correct. So when they're on board, so normally I will give them a big picture. Then after that, I will zoom into their stage of life to plan the strategies that is suit their stage of life at that moment. But they will have a bigger picture for long term. Then we zoom into current needs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
cool, because so then they get into this journey. So you have this grand picture of based on your client's needs, and then you zoom in and go forward to as stepping stones to their journey, their financial journey, right? And how
Yes.
long does this take? Like, do you have like a set of timeline for them to go through each program, or is the journey dependent on the client?
Recently, I actually started a new package for my clients, because previously we are looking into coaching, let's say 1 month once, is a yearly program. But recently, because I just graduate from a certified result coach. Yeah. So here we also do coachings. So besides financial plannings, so I believe that sometimes a lot of people, they want to achieve certain thing in life, but a lot of blockage in their mind. a lot of self-uncertainty, and also maybe certain people, not because they are not able to do, but because of some self-esteem problem or self-confidence or sometimes denial. So between this coaching period, I also incorporate not only monetary coaching, also life part of coaching for them. So this I will start weekly 1 to 1.5 hours. So it's a 10 sessions for them to go through life and also life-centered financial plannings kind of coachings. Yeah.
Ah, nice. So you've incorporated life-centered financial planning. Because I've already heard this from Kevin Neo as well. So he's also practicing this. So can you try to explain this further for us as well? I'm very excited to hear about this new way of doing financial advice.
Okay, so Life Central Financial Planning is I believe is advocated by from US, and also US there's one Anthony Mitch Anthony. We actually learned from him under Return on Life, so-called it's a platform that we all of us we who practice life-centered financial plannings. So we go through his programs, and our clients who on board, actually we will go through with them to find out their monetary type of so-called philosophy. We will try to find out their past history.
Yes.
Their past history, their values, then client on boards. Then that one we have a system. After that, we help them to go through the return on life. How they measure themselves, not only monetary, but in terms of their so-called their wellness, their health, and also their achievement, their sense of security about their financial futures, all this. We have another measurements for them. Then after that, we will bring them for life transitions. They will actually go through a so-called time life that can actually they plan now, followed by every transition of life. We want to prepare them not only monetary and also emotionally, and also maybe their time availability for each life transitions. And mainly we want to make sure they are ready, so-called monetary, because in Malaysia, normally when we talk about financial plannings, it seems like we need two things.
Yeah.
Education planning, retirement plannings. But after we do this life-centered financial plannings, we know that each one actually they have small transitions, but it's important for them. And each transition actually required money to fulfill that. So we want to make sure each transitions is important to them, and then they are ready with money and also emotional and time to fulfill the life transitions. And that is under life-centered financial planning learning. But recently, I picked up another coaching course under International Coaching Federations, provided by another Australian so-called education platforms. So from there, we also do emotional coaching.
Yes.
To incorporate in, because sometimes it's even though life-centered coaching, right, is a goal, is a philosophy, but sometimes we cannot look into their internal. So this ICF we able to talk to them through some sort of counselings, go into their inner thinking, their inner emotions, to help them to understand themselves better.
Yes, definitely.
So we incorporate everything together.
That's really great, because I think that the reason why money is very valuable to us humans in general is because of the emotions that it evokes from us, right? Like it can provide us with the happiness because we're able to like support our families, even get them on trips. The pride that we experience when we've helped our kids finish school, so things like that. And that's why it's money is very emotional. And I do agree that I think in order to provide a really like comprehensive advice to our clients is we have to make sure that they're that we've also accounted their emotions with regards to how they're spending their money or their habits with money. So I'm very glad that you're really incorporating that and continuously, taking up courses and learning more so that you can provide a lot of these like a better advice for your clients. But in this case, Hoi Hoi, why did you decide to continuously get into courses? Because I know that you're already a director for your company, right? But
Mm-hmm.
like, what drives you to learn more and to seek more teachers, mentors for you in order to provide better service? Like I know that it's for like to provide a better service for your clients, but how is that like? What's your driving force for that?
Because I always believe learning is a lifelong kind of so-called journey. And
Mm.
especially in Malaysia, if talking about financial planning, those days, maybe now because of the IT development, the gap
Yeah.
will be closed up very fast. But
Mm.
actually, current stage, but our Malaysia so-called financial plannings is what maybe in US we compare US or South Africa I believe
Mm.
also is very fast, very
Yes.
ahead compared with Malaysia's. So we
Yeah.
are almost maybe 10 to 15 years behind, frankly speaking. So
Ah.
that's why here, because of the opportunity that we can catch up online nowadays, so we,
Mm.
we are we are looking forward that Malaysians uh,
Mm.
have the opportunity to get the best practice out there.
Mm.
Yeah, so after I
Yeah.
learn all this, then hope we can actually, my clients who trusted me for
Mm.
past 10 to 20 years, able to get the best from this industry.
Mm.
And not only financial planning industry, maybe in their different stages of life, they need someone to talk to and they trust me. So I hope that I have the capability to be a trusted advisor that not only help them in terms of money, maybe in their stages of life that they need someone to talk to, I can be there for them and a window for them to reach out to. And also, I have a team of financial planners who is young and energetic and different stages of life. So,
Mm.
in order to help them to grow better, I think coaching skill is very important as well. Besides
Yes.
that,
Yes.
yeah, for me myself to learn different so-called either in terms of financial planning, life-centered financial planning that is very popular out there to bring it to Malaysia, especially to the planners in my firm, to let them know that hey, this is what the world out there is doing. If you're interested,
Mm.
then you'll go ahead and find out more. But at least there's an introductory to them.
Yes, definitely. Because, it's true that what you said, that there are other countries out there who do have a more progressive outlook with regards to financial advice and how they practice in their countries. I think. Yes, South Africa is definitely doing very well. The
Yeah,
US, Australia, but I think that definitely in Malaysia you guys are really starting to aggressively develop that. And for example, with you, you're really tapping into resources like coaches from other countries in order to bring what they offer to Malaysian people as well. I think that's very innovative that you're introducing that kind, that because there are actually a growing number of different styles of financial planning, right? It's not only with regards to money. You now look at lifestyle. You now look at their emotions with regards to how they spend and their behaviors. But I'm also curious because you mentioned that coaching is important in financial advice, and I think that this is something that greatly agree. But I haven't discussed this with other financial advisors in this show yet. So I'd like to ask you, like,
Mm-hmm.
why do you think coaching is important? Is like a very important skill as a financial advisor?
Because through my experience, I think that if let's say I do a plan for someone and I charge a fee,
Mm.
without a so-called close follow up or coachings, sometimes people just look at it as a plan, and
Mm.
people tend not to really so-called kickstart and implement it unless someone is with them.
Yeah.
So I believe that beside a plan, before come out a plan, I also want to understand them more, and also understand them more, motivate them. Because a lot of times, if they have a plan, but if let's say they, of course, there are different stages of life. Especially
Yeah.
now, I'm dealing quite with a lot of young professionals. Some
Yeah.
of them they just start their work. Some of them they are in the middle of work transitions or family, so-called, they are building up their family. And because of COVID, some of them they start their business, but they're facing a lot of so-called challenges, or they're
Yes.
starting new job because of COVID. They lost their job.
Mm.
So, but when talking
Yes.
about financial planning, they need money to manage, right? So, I do it go through coachings. We are able to help them to understand themselves, to make them determine in their, even though in their career development, what they want to achieve in their career in life. Then after that, we incorporate very important financial so-called advisory in it. And I go through with them. Not only when they have money matter, they go to me. I will understand them from A to Z, their history, their wants, their need, their shadow, even though their shadow values. Sometimes they can tell everyone, okay, my value, I want to do this and do that. But actually they have some shadow value that they feel shy to tell people. But go through our program, we actually help them to find out the shadow value. And sometimes this shadow value is the shadow value that push them to do certain things. So not only push them to for their career, and also push them to really seriously look into their finance, whether in they are heavily in debt, they need to restructure, or they are just started, or they have too much money, they actually no need to be too stingy. They need to love themselves more, spend more. So it's yeah, we need to talk, to understand, then only we can be a better so-called financial advisor to them.
Oh, yes, that's really great. And it's
Mm-hmm.
very interesting that you mentioned with regards to like some of the things that they don't say to other people, because that's really true. Especially here, I think it goes with most of us Asians that there are some aspects, especially with money, that we don't talk about. I don't know about there in Malaysia, but here in the Philippines, it's still a taboo to talk
Mm.
about finances, to like talk about your salary, or like even development with regard with your like coworkers, for fear of being judged, or being or offending someone else.
Yes.
And also it's also the same in Malaysia then.
Yes, it's the same. And not only money, sometimes about other areas of life
Mm.
that they feel shy to talk, but this is their push factor in their life.
Mm.
So when we
Yeah,
look
like
through coaching,
retirement.
mm,
Yeah,
yes,
because
like retirement,
mm,
their relationship with their, because part of the retirement we actually have one coaching sessions is the husband and wife sit down together to
mm,
plan what is their dream so-called lifestyle after their
mm,
retirement, even though maybe it's 5 years before. So the
mm,
husband sometimes might say that, oh, after after retired, because in between three of us, I will ask maybe when during part of the chit chatting, then he will say that okay, after retired, I want to sell everything. I want to go back to my hometown. Then the wife will say that, oh no, I never know that you want to do that. I can't go to rural area. Maybe I'm a city girl. Then from there, then we know, hey, their thinking of retirement life is totally different. But the husband have A and the wife actually have B. But after go through the sessions, then of course I cannot interfere. But at least they know each other's thinking from that sessions, coaching session, and they go back can discuss about it.
Oh yes, yes. And I am glad that you brought that up, because I think there's a lot of couples that are out there who are actually not talking about their like far future plans with their spouses, right? So I can definitely relate to what you said, because I also had a friend who they never actually we realized that they never really talked about their retirement, because when I asked them, so what are you guys planning when you retire, like when you're 60 or 70, and they had totally different answers, and they didn't know that the other person was thinking about that, like you said, like one is wanting to go back to the province, maybe take up on a hobby, and then the other one would never want to live in the province. They'd like to stay in the city, maybe still continue to work in like a passion project or something like that. So they have different goals, and it's important as financial advisors to help those couples bridge that gap, right? Because I think it would be not only easier for their finances, but for the relationship as well. So, as a financial advisor, you're really crossing a lot of territory. Not just a financial coach, a money coach, but a relationship coach as well, to an extent.
I feel that is very meaningful for my clients, because most of my clients are my long-time clients. Many through referral as well. So they have trust on me. So I feel that as much as possible, I want to actually be a trusted so-called advisor or a friends that can accompany them in their life journey.
Yes, that's right. And you're like 19 years in the industry. So, and that's actually something that's very curious, because you've been in the industry for quite some time. So how do you keep the relationship going with your with your clients, to make sure that you're always part of their journey throughout their life?
For myself, I love this career. So in my mind, I do not treat it as a job, and I do not really treat them as a clients. I treat them as friends. So that's why when I talk to them, I have a so-called tea session, coffee session, or meal with them. So beside presenting the report, I think 90 to 80% we are talking about life. Then after that, then financial report, just a very quick so-called moment that they look at it, oh, okay. I trust you, then you just take care of it, okay? Then we will just chit-chat about life, This is a trusted relationship. And whenever they have money, they are in their every life transitions, then they will sometimes call me for opinions. And also now I'm taking care of second generations already, some of them. Of course, I have limited time, so sometimes the second generations come in. I still take care. Some who they refer their friend or whoever. So I have our line of also very trusted financial planner to take care of those referrer as well. Because one person I have only 24 hours also.
That's really wonderful that you're really in it, and then you consider your clients as your friends, because it's really nice to have a meal with your client, and as you say, spend just maybe about 20 or 10% of the time talking about
Money.
of their money, and the rest with their life, because it's where you really get to know your clients, and their habits and what they're thinking about in the future, and all that
Yes.
stuff, and you can provide like a better advice to them in the future as well, because of the things that you are able to get from them during these conversations. All right. And
Yeah.
yes, and I think that because they're able to talk to you so casually about that as well, is that they have more confidence in you, that as their financial advisor, right? So you really develop these relationships through your chit chats, your regular chit chats.
Yeah, and because of this chit chat, I feel
Mm,
that they trust me a lot. And a
mm.
lot of time when they want to seek maybe better coaching, but I lack of the skill, and that pushed me to learn more about coaching, so that
Ah.
I can help them. Not to say help them, I can have a better conversations.
Yes, I
Yeah, with
agree.
that.
So that's
Mm,
really good. I'm glad you also brought that up, because I think that it's not a shame for you. Like, you shouldn't be ashamed if, like, your client asks you something and you can't answer that right away. Um,
mm,
but what is shameful is that you don't know, and either you pretend to know, or that you don't know and you don't do anything about it, right? So that's like a real clear sign that that you have the growth mentality, if you are always seeking to find answers to the questions, especially when your clients are asking for it.
yeah, because sometimes some areas I not very familiar,
Mm.
and sometimes I also ask Kevin.
Ah, yes,
Yeah,
refer them to
because
an
yeah,
expert.
he's very
Yes.
good. Yeah,
Mm.
so sometimes I ask Kevin and other colleagues as well, because
Mm.
a lot of us we have different strengths. Yeah, in our career, we
Yes.
cannot be master in all. So
Mm.
sometimes I am not sure. I will check with other financial planner as well.
Yes, definitely. I think that there's really value in getting. I think we call it professional growth. There's real value in the growth that you experience if you grow with your peers. So, and you're right, like, you don't really have the answers to everything, and it's really good that you have all of these people around you that you can ask for help, or you can ask for guidance in case you're unsure of
Yeah.
anything. And I think that's the gem in being in the industry for a long time, is that you get to know the people, or the fellow financial advisors that you can trust, and that can provide really like solid answers to these questions.
Yes, yes. I'm
Yeah.
very blessed, I can say.
Right. Now, I
Yeah.
also want to ask you about this, Hoyu, because you mentioned that
Okay.
you have a team of financial advisors. So in Core Plus Advisory, how many are the financial advisors in your team?
We have around 15 licensed financial planner
Wow.
in my firm, and I believe I'm not sure about Australia, about South Africa, but in
Mm.
Australia, a lot of them are under employment.
Yes.
Yeah. But in
Mm.
Malaysia, our practice is they are individual licensed financial planner, and they
Mm.
hold their individual license. But in
Mm.
order to practice, they need to practice hold their license under a licensed financial planning firm.
Oh, okay.
And
So in
yeah,
Australia, that's a licensee. Yeah.
yes. So we have about 15 of them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. And then, but these financial advisors are, as you mentioned, from all life's stages. So there are new financial advisors, and the one that are also seasoned. But like, do you mentor the new ones in your team, like the new financial advisors that come into Core Plus Advisory?
Yes. We have three partner actually. So
Mm.
each of us have our own strengths.
Mm.
For product knowledge, for more some sort of more systematic kind of training. As for advisory, all this is done by my another partner, Joey. For
Yeah.
myself, I will do more on coachings on so-called understand them more about their goal, their presentation skill,
Yes.
and also advisory skill, yes.
That's wonderful, right? And like, so we're almost at the end of our podcast, and I don't
Okay.
want to keep you too long, but I
Okay.
wanted to ask that question because it segues perfectly to my next question, which is like, what is the advice that you usually provide to your the new financial advisors in your team, in order for them to like succeed in providing the best advice that they can provide to their clients?
I normally would want them to treat this career. If they want to succeed, they must treat this career as a long-term so-called business that they want to venture. And they need to have a vision of what they want to achieve in here. So because I believe that when they treat this as a long-term things that they want to achieve, then the time they put into understand about the skill, the knowledge, and the way they treat their clients will be much different. So when they're able to so-called to help people to get what other people want, to achieve their financial freedom, their so-called to fulfill their clients' so-called financial dream, then automatically they will achieve what they want in life.
Yeah, awesome. So I
Yeah.
definitely agree, and thank you so much for providing all of those golden wisdom that you've imparted us today in the show. I'm really happy to have you here in the show, and getting to know you more. I think it's really wonderful what you're doing, and I particularly like how you're facing each and every type of like your strength as a coach for your financial advisor. So hopefully our listeners are able to get a lot of those wisdom in this short talk as well. Thank you so much for being
Thank
on
you so
board.
much, Gwen. Yeah, nice to talk to you.
All right, have a good one.